Welcome to the podcast. We're thrilled for you to join us today. Today we have Dr. Legend Bourne of Dr. Chris Natural Remedies. Hello, doctor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited for you to join us today and just to tell us, your story and how you got in this space. So let's start with that.
Okay. So actually, initially I wanted to pursue physical therapy, and really and truly went for a physical therapy tech degree because at the time I was living with my aunt, so I wanted to get something where I could be self-sufficient. And so didn't get into the tech, finished my bachelor's. And while I was at Florida Atlantic University, not a recruiter, but a marketer for Life University came and spoke about life. And I was sold, and got a chance to come to Life University, did their life leadership weekend where they kind of took you around the school, gave you a chance to, tell you more about chiropractic, show the facility and everything. And I mean, I was sold. Didn't know you could influence health by your hands. I didn't know, the nervous system through the spinal cord and how that changes the body's neurology first to influence the physiology, eliminating the need for prescription medicine, and to be able to have a skill set that I could take with me anywhere in the world. Yeah, I was sold. That's how I got into chiropractic.
Nice. And how long have you been doing it?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And so you tell us, what are your chiropractic techniques?
I do full spine, which is essentially from the cervical spine down to the lumbar, which is the low back. So cervical be your neck, mid-thoracic area, all the way down to your tailbone. So we analyze the entire spine. Also, Thompson technique, which is similar to what Dr. Powell does. Mm-hmm. That utilizes a little less force, and it utilizes a drop table for, people who are on the older end of the spectrum. You don't want to be putting too much of a force or amplitude into their system. So that allows to get the adjustment and get the same results. Activator, where we utilize an instrument which offers a slight impulse to move the segments of the spine as well. And last but not least, Gonstead. And I do a little bit of pediatric stuff as well as physical therapy.
We have like a similar background. I grew up in Jamaica, you too. So I know you mentioned that initially you never, you started out to study physical therapy. Tell us that part of the story.
So I left Jamaica at 14, right? So at 14 years old, you really don't know much about what you want to do. Came to Florida and finished my high school, then went into undergrad. Mm-hmm. And at the age of 18, I was working at a nursing home. And so you got to see, different aspects. You got to see the dietitian, you got to see the RNs, you got to see the LPN, you got to see the physical therapist, and you kind of have an idea, or you're observing the different professions and different tasks of what each one is doing. And so at 18, you need a career. You're trying to figure out, what is it that I need to do? How do I make a living? How am I going to survive, feed my family, but also satisfying the need for the fulfillment, doing what you love to do every day. And I like hands-on, I like the hands-on, you'd be able to utilize my hands. So I like cars, I'm mechanically inclined, let's put it that way. I work on my own stuff. I actually really loved engineering before. And so chiropractic, being in the health field, was almost a nice blend of it all. Mm-hmm. Because you're also dealing with the biomechanics of the spine. Right. Plus being able to actually adjust that. So like a mechanic uses his tools to fix cars, you're using your hands to address the subluxation, meaning the misalignments within the spine. Yeah.
So, doctor, I speak with a lot of different, chiropractors and healthcare practitioners. When it comes to chiropractic care, people tend to, see the secondary care. I want to hear your thought on it, and why people believe that you shouldn't say go to a chiropractor as the first line of defense versus a primary care?
Simple, lack of information. There's a lot of misleading information as well. That's the main reason. So most people, due to just what they've heard from other people, word of mouth, and not actually getting the answers from a doctor themselves, it leads to the perception that, especially with the narrative that we have nowadays, where you need to have a medical doctor or primary care, which I'm not saying no, but now the laws and regulations are changing even before you get surgery, where you need to get 6 months of conservative care first under a chiropractor before you get induced to surgery and stuff like that. So we have to do a better job of creating more awareness and making sure that we communicate chiropractic in its most layman terms. That way everybody can understand exactly what we do, and maybe I'll actually share. So in science, that the brain controls everything in the body, right? It tells your heart to beat, lungs to breathe, and food to digest without you even having to think about it. And it does so through your spinal cord and your nerves, right? And so your nerves are the roadways and pathways for the brain's communication to every organ, tissue, cell in the body, right? And those spinal nerves exit through your spinal cord, which I think my spine model is downstairs. I would have grabbed it. So when the bones that those spinal nerves exit go out of proper alignment, it can cause a reduction in the information that's getting sent through those spinal nerves, right? Meaning there's a miscommunication from the brain to whatever organ, cell, tissue that nerve is going to. And this is how you get dysregulation of certain organs or hormonal imbalances or pain even, right? And so when we address the misalignment in that spine, the body then is operating closer to 100%. That means the brain can now help to heal that part of the body that's not getting the right attention, can regulate that thyroid that has not been working correctly, the blood pressure that's been high so long. When that bone is finally set in the right place, now your blood pressure finally comes down. It's finally being regulated, right? Your autonomic nervous system is finally operating as it should. And so this is how people see a lot of miracles in the office, because through the adjustment, they're seeing these amazing results without the medication, with just adjustment and clearing the spine. You're seeing the body come to 100% and healing. And so that's when healing is achieved and restored through chiropractic. It's through the adjustment, relieving pressure off of that nerve, where the brain can communicate to the body, and the body communicating to the brain, and everything can function at 100%. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, and I'm a testimony of that. I know chiropractic works. It definitely helps. Doctor, someone is listening, and they're hearing how knowledgeable you are about what you're doing, and but I want you to walk us to your process of a new client. Say a new patient. A new patient comes in. What are the things that you do?
So we get a new patient in the office, which I love to see new patients because it gives us a chance to educate them on chiropractic and also give them their own miracle story about chiropractic. And so when they come on in, of course, they sign in. But when they come on in, we're going to do a full physical exam, meaning we're going to take their blood pressure, vital signs. We're going to also analyze exactly their neurological system. So we're going to do a neurological exam, physical exam, vitals, orthopedic testing if needed to rule in or rule out a diagnosis. Okay. And we test their reflexes. And then we also analyze the spine itself through motion palpation, meaning what segment is not moving the way it needs to, what segment is fixated, right? Because that's mainly what they're coming to us for, is to actually get their spine checked. So in addition to everything else, we can track how their blood pressure is now being regulated post adjustment. What was it before when they came in? Their vitals, right? When you take their pulse rate, has their pulse rate gone down after getting an adjustment? And then we'll also use different assessment tools to track their pain levels and things of that nature. So it's very thorough. And yeah, we see a lot of great results in office because it's so thorough.
Yeah, I mean, that's a comprehensive assessment based on
yeah.
what you have been you've explained of what you guys you guys are doing, because I know some chiropractors, they don't do that deep level of assessment on the first visit. But doctor, I want you also, as we move along, to tell us what differentiates you from another chiropractor. I know you spoke about the detailed, the thorough assessment, but what would you say, someone is listening, you'd say, hey, come to me now, come to Dr. Chris Natural Remedies, because this is how we're different. Oh, that.
So for me, myself as a chiropractor, what makes me different is the fact that I look at the spine from a structural standpoint. And so when you come into the office, we're looking to actually correct not only just your posture, but the structure of your spine. Now, I'm going to have you do a quick example here. And the reason why I say this is because when your body, when over time, due to sitting down, right, most people are doing it, the at-home jobs, the sit-at-home desk jobs, and now sitting down is the new smoking.
Yeah.
Being sedentary is probably a lot more harmful than most people realize. Okay. Now, one, because when you're sitting down for hours and hours, a day in and day out, even though you may be comfortable, you're not aware of how your posture is being compromised, right? Most of us aren't sitting up chest tall, shoulders back, core is engaged, erector supporting the lumbar spine. And so your posture starts to get deformed. And when that happens and your spine starts to lose its proper curves, because there's 3 different curves in the spine. In the cervical curve, you have a C-shaped curve, which measures about 45 to 60 degrees. In the thoracic spine, about another 45 degrees, but reverse. So the C-shape will go this way in the cervical spine, thoracic goes this way, and the lumbar will follow the same kind of curvature of the cervical spine. And that helps to reduce the load. And so when that gets compromised, a lot of physiological changes happen, and you also start to experience a lot of debilitating things. Now, one quick example is, go ahead and I want you to round your shoulders, almost like you are now, but have them rounded and almost kind of slouch forward a little bit, right? And I want you to try and take a big breath in and see how well. Now, really round your shoulders, right? So round those shoulders and try to breathe in as best as you can, and let me know how that goes. So round the shoulders for me. So both shoulders, I want them rounded. Yeah, so don't hike them, round them forward. So bring them forward and try to take a big breath in. It's a little difficult. A little difficult, right?
Yeah.
See how just a simple change in your posture. Now, bring the shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, and now try to take a big breath in and tell me how that goes. You look liberated.
Much easier.
Exactly. So you see just from that simple example, how that alone affects your breathing, and changing your posture is going to pull on certain muscles, is going to bring your head forward, is going to cause all kind of things to happen. Wow. And so when you address the spine from a structural standpoint, those disc spaces get healthier because they're in their normal place. The nerves that are exiting the foramen in each vertebra are open and are free of pressure. And so everything works, everything functions, you look better, you feel better, and the body health is operating more at an optimally high level.
Man, that's awesome. And I can feel the difference based on your simple exercise a while ago. And I like that phrase, sitting is like the new smoking, right? Sitting still is the new smoking. That's why it's important, a lot of, organizations, they're investing in the desk that you could stand up,
Right.
You can more be
Ergonomic
upright and
Yep.
keep that posture.
Mhm.
But that's great, and that's another example of how the posture is important, and going to a chiropractor and ensure that everything is in alignment. But great, doctor. All right, so you touch on as you know, we're in a unique environment. We're basically coming out of the pandemic, and as you mentioned, most people are at home. We're working remote. Uh, how has the what are the changes that you're seeing in chiropractic care because of this, or how has healthcare changed because of this new normal?
I'd say that a lot of people, we are in an age of enlightenment. I'll just leave it there. I'll put it that way. We are in an age of enlightenment where, um, due to technology and due to the ease of access of information, more people are, I'd say, more aware of what they need for themselves and more aware that they need to take a more holistic approach to healthcare. And so, because of COVID and the pandemic, a lot of practices have doubled, if not tripled, in how many patients we've seen, and even just in sheer numbers of people that are now coming to chiropractor because people are looking for alternative medicine, or once again a holistic approach to their health. We see a lot of patients who come into the office who are being treated for something, constantly getting their blood drawn, constantly getting stick with needles, constantly being prescribed all these different medications, just not working. Doctors aren't asking the right questions. And so we find a lot of people, because of this pandemic and because they don't feel honored when they go to the doctor, especially because they're left with this extremely high bill, right, after only being seen for an hour or two. And so what we can do in the office through approaching the neurology of the spine, understanding that we are our nervous system and nothing more. If you're brain dead, you're done, right? So the function of your nervous system is essential and key to every other aspect of the body. And that's what most MDs don't do. They don't look to the spine first. And there's a famous saying by the great Hippocrates, when sick, look to the spine for the cause of disease.
Yeah, that's definitely a great quote. What are the great? Tell us about some misconceptions of chiropractic care.
That we break bones. you know, what other misconceptions are there? What misconceptions do you know of, if any?
You guys just take our money.
Yes, that we have to keep coming. That you guys, once you come,
exactly.
Right?
So it's like you give us like a hook. We gotta come and you do it over and over. And if you don't come, the pain is gonna be there. So it's like some hook that you guys give us, and we have to come and pay you every 2 weeks or so.
Okay, well, I'd say no, that's a misconception. But what it is that so in chiropractic, we believe that subluxation are caused by three main things. We believe that subluxations are caused by thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So first, imagine that you think about, you essentially become what you think. So if you think ill thoughts, if you think bad thoughts, your mind and your body you can make yourself sick, right? So thoughts can induce sickness. Traumas, physical trauma or even emotional trauma, right, can induce sickness. And when you get into a car accident, whiplash, you can have broken bones, and that can change once again how you walk, how you sit. If you're in pain, it can change your gait. If you break a leg or something like that, it can cause your pelvis and spines to shift. And so, so thoughts, traumas, and toxins, injection of heavy metals, pesticides, bad water, poor quality air, all these things can create a potent concoction for the body's decrease in its health status. And so the misconception lies when you think you need to come on in twice a week or every week. And no, it's really to actually check the spine and make sure that you're not subluxated, because we understand that the body, when unsubluxated, unmisaligned, you are operating at 110%, or at least as optimally as possible. And so chiropractic isn't something that's pain based. That's another misconception. And that's probably one of the main reasons why people come to chiropractic or chiropractors is for the treatment of pain. But we don't treat pain. We clear misalignments in the spine, and that's all we do. And by doing that, a consequence is relief of pain. Okay.
That's important there, because most people think that they come to you to take care of that pain, you know. So
a lot of times where the pain is occurring isn't where the problem is. You know, a lot of times exactly where you're feeling that pain is not where that pain is originating from. Okay. So it takes a very skilled chiropractor who understands the biomechanics of the body, the biomechanics of the spine, and the neurology and its makeup to find the correct subluxation, the primary subluxation, which is causing a cascade of other effects and even secondary subluxations in the body, especially in addition to the poor posture and all of that. So we have a handful of, we have our work cut out for us when we do see patients.
And that all makes sense now. And that's why it's important, as you mentioned earlier, of you doing that thorough assessment to know exactly what's going on. So it's not just, you have to, do the exams and see, what you're looking at, because the pain could be in one ear, but it's coming from, somewhere else. So that's why the detailed examination is so, our assessment is critical to what you do.
Absolutely.
All right. What do you, or where do you see healthcare in the next 10 years?
That's a great question. I see healthcare, and this is my vision for the world. I honestly see healthcare going in the direction where chiropractors are primary care and MDs are secondary. I do see the roles being reversed. And the reason I say that is we do everything medical doctors do except for prescribing pills. And so what we like to do, or at least what we do in our office, we carry a wide range of natural herbs and supplements that better support the body without the repercussions of side effects, right? So what we prescribe or what we recommend for our patients are natural supplements to complement the body's organic compounds, so that way it works in unison and less pressure on the liver and kidneys to be eliminating toxins, because those are already organic compounds that complements the body. So in the next 10 years, I see chiropractic being the main driver for people to come to get their physicals done. And then if further, because we do blood work, we do any tests that, we can refer out to any specialist, any blood work, MRI, X-rays, ultrasound, you name it, we do in our office, or we refer out for in our office. The only thing, once again, that we do not do is any kind of surgery or prescribe medications. Yeah.
Pretty cool. And doctor, I can't believe we're basically out of time. We're almost there. A couple other questions. What are your thoughts on healthcare marketing?
I think the most powerful marketing platform is the people. Word of mouth is probably the number one driver, I believe, for our office.
Right.
And proper patient education, because if you educate the patients, then they can also carry the news. It's similar to back in the day when stories were passed down from generation to generation, and through proper education, if someone came with a misconception of chiropractic, we now have our patients who can be give their testimony and our personal marketers, because they understand exactly what chiropractic is, and they can also be defenders of the profession. But I think that based on the marketing for chiropractic, we need to get back to the essence and the source of what we do as chiropractors. And it's not just back pain, it's not just neck pain. If you're in an accident, call 411 pain. No, it's what we do is correct misalignment of the spine, remove subluxations, and by doing that, and that alone, is how we achieve what we achieve in the office and as chiropractors.
Yeah, perfect. So, and that's you touch on something that's really good. It's all about the people. And that's why in this age, it's a digital age too, right? Where digital marketing is a big part of telling that story of, you having those reviews out there. People can go online and find information, what other people are saying about, Dr. Chris, or, you putting that information. You spoke about importance of information about, chiropractors, putting that, the information out there, the importance of why they should come in. So you're right. It's all about the people and getting to the people, and that's why marketing is.
Well, I'd also like to add that everything else is a plus. Everything else is a plus. Meaning, if there's the digital marketing, if there's a social media marketing, flyers, once you concentrate on taking care of the people, everything else, I think, will kind of do itself.
And that goes for life, or any business. It's all about the people, make your business.
I mean, once you provide the quality of service, it's almost like eating at a hole in the wall restaurant. I like to use this analogy. Even though it might not be the prettiest place, but once the food is excellent, word is going to spread like wildfire, and you're going to come back, because you're going there for the food. Like chiropractic, once the service and the care is excellent, the place can be dingy. People are not going to care. But because we are a results-driven office, and we like to see that we're getting results for our patients, and once you're changing lives and giving people their own miracle story and their own testimony, that word is going to spread like wildfire. And that's one less thing we have to do, because they're going to do that marketing for us, just from us doing what we need to do as healthcare providers.
Yeah, you're completely right. The word of mouth, and having your customers telling the story, because when our patients, when they tell that story, it's even more impactful. And as you mentioned, any other form, whether your website, in a digital form, it's just icing on the cake. It's just to amplify that. If you could tell us one thing that you could invest more in now, what would that be?
Ooh,
anything. It could be. It doesn't have to be in healthcare. Does any?
It would be real estate. I'd invest in more land, because that's finite in this earth. I'd invest in more real estate. Yeah.
Right. I like that too. I mean, you can't go wrong in investing in real estate.
But it's just the land itself. I'm buying the earth. The earth itself is finite. There's the limited land, So I'd definitely invest in more land for sure.
Perfect, man. And Doctor, a final thing, and how can we reach you?
I am on Instagram. You can find me at Dr. Legend Bourne on my Instagram, Facebook, Legend Bourne on Facebook. Bourne spelled Bourne. Legend, my first name, just like Legend, Legend. But yeah, Instagram handle. I'm on LinkedIn as well. You can find me there. And yeah, you can find me at the office, Dr. Chris Natural Remedies, located in Snellville, Georgia. Just throw it in your Google Maps, and we should come up.
Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time.
Thank you.
See you soon.